Yo, what's up, YouTubers? This is the Crow of Darkness, the great crow that rises from the sky and into the depths of darkness once again. Dark Crow 99 was shaking, people. Video 2 of Horizon on... excuse me. Horizon in the middle of nowhere. I always seem to get that name wrong for some reason. Don't hate me. But, anyway, yeah, this is video 2, explaining about episode 1, and the reason why that episode 1 and Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere is so godlike. I have a habit of saying godlike a lot because I picked that up somewhere, but just ignore that. But yeah, anyway, what does episode 1 have to offer? Let's take a minute to think about this. For the people that have watched episode 1, you should already know this. For the people that don't, I'm going to explain it to you. Now, in episode 1, first thing is first, they explain to you or give you a small, brief, like, cut of what happened before the future came about. So, you see that part, right? And then you say to yourself, what the hell is the Testament era? And that apocalypse? What the hell is that guy talking about? What do you mean an apocalypse? Do you mean that shit that came out the ground and went to the sky? The fuck is this guy talking about? I'm fucking clueless. I know you're probably saying that, and for the guys that haven't, and guys and girls that haven't watched this, but that very cutscene before the introduction or opening of that anime tells you what happened and the reason why this place or this world is now, it is what it is now. So, I don't know how to put it into words. It's crazy. So, yeah, in episode 1. Sorry. In episode 1. After the opening, you suddenly hear a whole bunch of announcements and see different places inside Musashi or the city itself, and then you come upon Horizon Ariadus, Musashi Ariadus Academy, where you see all of the students of Class PM, I think, standing all together in front of their teacher. And take note, at that very moment, you're currently seeing all the characters that will be known as the group of main protagonists in that anime. That whole group of students there are the main protagonists. And for the people that watch this anime, you should already know this. And you know that all of these characters are so godlike and have such godlike abilities. So, come on. Like, come on. Like, I'm gonna just throw something random at you. How would you feel? Do you think money does anything? Like in the real world, do you think money can do damage or do anything to anyone? In this anime, money defies logic. Money can actually hurt you physically and can actually do some serious shit in this anime. It's crazy. Like, it's sick. So, but anyway, I just popped that out at you random. So, the teacher's currently explaining, they just go through a small briefing about the Testament era, the reason why Musashi Ariadus Academy is going through what it's going through, and da-da-da, such and such. So, and then after that, the teacher says, I don't think any of you kids want to tolerate this, so the teacher says, I'm going to go over and go beat the shit out of a couple thugs that knocked me out of my house a while back. I want y'all to follow me, and then our PE class will start from there. So, because of course, all those students were there for PE class. So, they was like, alright, if y'all can't tolerate this, are y'all going to do something about it? And of course, all the students become all determined and everything. And they're like, hell yeah, we'll do something. So, like, let's do this shit. So the teacher's like, if you got any fighting skills, how about you show me? If any of you can hit me once before I can make it to my destination, all of you get a 5-day freebie from class. Which means you can do whatever the fuck you feel like. You don't got to come to class that day. So they're like, everybody's determined to get that 5 days. So, what does that tell you? They're all going to fight and work together to at least hit the teacher once. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, it shouldn't be that hard to hit one person with like 80 different students, like 10 or 20 different students, right? But that's the thing. You shouldn't underestimate the teacher. She's just that nice, yo. She's just like some really hot chick with a nice chest, nice looking face, and da-da-da, such and such. But don't judge a book by its cover. She is probably the nicest teacher in terms of being the most skilled teacher out there. She's just so beast. And look at that weird ass sword that she has. That mechanical sword, that shit could do a hell of a lot. It can be used for a lot of things. So she starts running off and tells them to hurry up and follow her, and the game starts. So everybody starts running off, and at that point in time, you start seeing all of the abilities of all the characters in the anime. But those are all of their minor abilities. You're just seeing the small abilities they have. Don't forget, they're fighting in a city that they currently live in, so they can't unleash their full abilities at them. Right? So then you realize, it's like, for example, during one of the cutscenes, you see these two girls on a broomstick. Girls with these overly large black and white wings, right? Those two girls are witches. They use something called techno magic. For the people that don't know and the people that already know, that techno magic is pretty damn amazing. Now, as many attempts from a whole bunch of the students don't succeed in hitting her, suddenly they start coming up with different strategies. So then you get to that one point where they're like, hell yeah, let's do this. We'll cause diversion, and we'll have one of our fastest people, one of our quickest people go after the teacher. So then you have this amazing quick 5-second rush race to see who will hit the teacher first. It's this one guy named Tenzo and this other guy who's a robot, and both of them work together to hit the teacher. So before the robot guy could come, Tenzo decides to chase after the student in a high-speed race to try to catch up to her. And right when he's about to get her, they make a diversion so the robot guy could come down, swoop down, and attack her. But the teacher's like, the fuck are you doing? This shit ain't gonna work. Stop that shit. And she just uses her amazing sword, stops the kunai, and then stops the robot at the same time. Then, did you forget? It's those two guys, but they also had a third person. So they're like, hell yeah, let's do this. Yo, the third person being a fist fighting guy called Nori. So this nigga comes up right when he's finally about to get a hit off the teacher. The teacher lets go of her sword and releases at the last minute, and the sword slowly comes up, and the guy's forced to punch the sword, knocking it away, and the girl gets a free pass to jump out the way and evade all three of them at the same time. That's fucking crazy. That's absolutely outrageous. Then the fighting continues. I mean, think about this shit. Come on. The abilities are amazing. And then after that, the teacher retrieves the sword by some next-gen ricochet off the ground catch, and then she keeps on running away. So, of course, now the guy's like, yo, we're depending on this next chick, who's about to use the power of something called the Asama Shrine, going by her last name, gives her the power from the gods to utilize different contracts. So, she's an archer, and she can use use powers from the gods to make her arrow abilities absolutely significantly good. For example, she asks for 4 ritual offerings from the gods to make it so her shot from her arrow does not miss its target. It will keep following her until it hits. Even if she manages to swing at it and cause it to move off course, it'll still go after her. So, is it possible for it to hit? Guess what? You're fucked. It still doesn't hit. She finds a way to stop the arrow from connecting the teacher. The teacher still finds a way to stop it. The girl's determined that it'll hit her. So she swings and misses. And at first you're like, it got her. But then guess what? Look at the girl's face. She landed on her feet and she started running away. It missed. So how do you think that feels? The fight continues, and they finally get to that point where they just never hit her, and she makes it there, and none of them get a hit on her after all the stuff that they went through, including the incoming students that try to take a crack at her and try to get a good hit on her. They still fail. Like, it's crazy. This is part 1 of episode 1. Part 2 will be a little shorter, but this is part 1. I just want to knock that out. I like my videos to be about 9 minutes short, along those lines.